to a brand new episode of Coming Distractions brought to you by the Nerdpocalypse podcast. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Demetrius.
What's going on?
All right, guys, we're back. This time we're going to discuss the 2018 World War II action horror film, Overlord. Demetrius, you got a chance to see this. So what is the general premise and then your thoughts on this?
General premise is that World War II sucks and a lot of people died. Horrible deaths. And this movie did not hold back on that at all. But as far as the premise of everything, the Germans are experimenting on people, experimenting on the dead with a serum that is never explained. And it just makes people super strong and frightening. And it's, I don't know, man. It's the perfect situation that if you were to just drop into a first person shooter, this is what you would just this is what you would get.
Right, because this feels like just a live action Wolfenstein movie. Yeah. That we've been, I guess, asking for decades.
And see, the thing is, they teased what they could possibly show with a corpse of something, but there was no hell beasts. There was no, there was nothing that was so outlandish, even though we're talking about zombies and
it was just mostly humans.
It was. But there was the visual effects on it was pretty decent because they did a lot of quick cuts. Like you got a chance to make out what you were looking at, and then they cut away from it, and then the jump scares would happen.
Right.
Because it was a scary situation for what they were trying to present.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong. So this is it's a team of it's just Americans and then a French woman that kind of falls off. Well, here, go.
Okay, so it's right before D-Day. Where there's an advanced team that's there to knock out a communications tower that is that has anti-air artillery that is communicating with, and it's this team's job to knock out that so that the D-Day situation can happen. Okay. When they airdrop, man, things go to shit. Everything that you've ever seen as far as World War II, beach, landings and such. Yeah. This was just in the dark and it was over water and hellfire was raining within the skies. And it was, I would not want to be in 1942 at all.
No.
Because this was,
no thanks. I'm good.
It was terrible. I mean, and
thanks for your service.
Yeah. And then the size of the bullets that they were using back then, they did damage. It wasn't small holes that you would see from a hollow point in today's age. I mean, these things tore holes in faces, bro.
Yeah, I saw an image of one of, I assume, the bad guys. It's a reanimated dude with a giant hole in his face.
Yo, when he revealed that, it was like, yo, really? But yeah, it was pretty decent. I mean, it was a quick cut. You couldn't see how bad or how good the visual effects were, but the movie was entertaining. There were some slow parts in it during the middle of it to give it some character development, some
Sure.
depth, because it was more movie than I expected. I thought it was gonna be a 90-minute rock'em sock'em robots type deal and wham bam thank you ma'am type deal. No, they actually wanted you to care about the protagonist and his motivations to help one of the only other leading lady or the other leading lady in the movie, and they wanted you to care about some of the soldiers that were obviously cannon fodder.
Yeah,
Okay. And what's his name? Fitz from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
I didn't know he could do some of the things that he did in that movie because I just see him as Fitz. So. That was
that guy.
That was a pleasant surprise.
That's cool. So, okay. So overall, is it a pretty good horror experience or is it more action oriented, you think?
I would say action oriented. The horror part just comes in the jump scares. And, they were not far and few in between, but evenly spaced out. And, there were some things that happened. There was some bone breaking and torture that was presented that I did not expect.
Yeah.
And those guys,
I mean, it goes to the brutality of World War II.
Right. Like, I'm thinking about how Cap said in the Marvel movies, like, we boiled everything back in the day. These guys, they did what they needed to do to sleep well at night. These guys, they just, if the acting was anything like they were back in the day, the only thing I can say is I appreciate them for their service, because those dudes were ruthless.
That's good. That's good. Okay, so your score for Overlord? I
would give it a 3. A 3 out of 5. It's not it's
a matinee watch.
Yeah, you go. You just wanted to see something different than what's out there right now. There's a lot of good movies like Widows and all that stuff like that right now. So yeah, just go see it, have a good time. There's nothing to really, go get drunk before you go see it. That should be fun.
There you go. There's your review. Go get drunk during a matinee and go see Overlord. Okay, guys, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
You're watching the Nerdpocalypse YouTube channel. Make sure you click that button to subscribe and check out our weekly podcast where we talk about movie, TV, news, tech, and weird stories from around the internet.